Hello and welcome to day 114 of 1,350 days. Now today I have a very pleasing 26 sales to report, so I'm up to 1,230 overall. Now these sales are a direct result of two things. Number one, I changed my product description on my books on Amazon, and I'm going to show you guys that in a second. And number two, I launched new AMS campaigns on both Amazon Germany and Amazon UK. So both of those things combined me to give one of my best ever sales weeks on Amazon. I think earlier in these videos, I can't remember exactly what day, but I probably think I sold 32 one week on AMS. So that was probably that's the record, but still 26 is great, especially after a couple of weeks with not many sales. So I just want to show you guys the product description just to show you the changes I've made. If you have a book yourself, you may want to consider doing this. Also, it's useful probably writing copy for any kind of product you want to sell and get people to buy. So we'll take a look at it right now. Okay, so here we have my Amazon page for Escape the System. You can see the just the edge of the cover in the bottom there. Anyway, so here's the title: Get the Life You Want Without Following the Rules. What if you could feel inspired every day of your life? What if you could work on the projects you love and could make a positive difference to the world? Now, I got the ideas for changing this, well, first of all from Thibaut. He suggested that I make the change, and he helped me through it, but he pointed me in the direction of this article here. 6 steps to write a perfect book description that sells tons of books. I'll leave a link to that in the description below, so if any of you want to read that further, you can do. He talks about a promise, this guy. I can't remember exactly what he's called. Kevin Cruz, I think. Sounds like a bit of a fake name, but anyway, or a writing name. So one mistake is they use it to summarize the book. Yeah, that's what I did before. It was a big mistake, I think. Now, the first sentence is your book's ultimate promise. See, I didn't have that before. I just had a question, and you can see now that the promise is get the life you want without following the rules. Then this part here is about credibility. I'm establishing myself as a hypnotherapist, author, the amount of time I spent researching it, 4 years, or researching/writing. And then you had to spice up these sort of selling points here. So you'll read, hate that when that happens. It happens all the time. If anyone knows how to disable that, please tell me. Right, you've got to spice it up. So what the system is and how it holds you back. I had that on my old one, but look, so I put stuff like how you can stop caring what other people think by copying Muhammad Ali's approach. How to perform under pressure using Bjorn Borg's secret formula. So this builds some kind of intrigue. So look at the last one. Why almost everything your parents, teachers and boss colleagues tell you about the life won't lead you to happiness and authentic success. So the whole idea is that's to make the person reading it intrigued and want to find out more. And then look, I finished with the call to action, which I didn't have before, amazingly. Pick up your copy today by clicking the Buy Now button at the top of this page. That's important. Apparently, people don't do it unless you tell them to. So you get an idea there of how changing your description can make a difference to the appeal of the book. And it's definitely helped me in this last week with my 26 sales, although some of that, maybe some of that's down to the AMS campaigns I've launched at the same time. Probably due to both of them. Anyway, that's enough about the sales, and now I'm going to talk to you guys about something else. Okay, so I want to talk to you about inspiration. I sort of had a new idea last week, and I think if you watched last week's episode, I'm talking about, or the week before, I can't remember, how am I going to get to this level of selling 1 million books in 1,350 days? Yeah, I've had a good week this week, 26 copies sold. But that still, even a good week like that is going to get me nowhere near achieving that goal. And I said I need to make some kind of quantum leap. And it struck me that, part of this is to do with being inspired. I need to be a whole lot more inspired in my life. So last week I wrote down how long in a journal, how long each week, each day I was inspired or in an inspired state. And when I say inspired state, I mean really inspired, like buzzing, ideas firing off in your mind. You can see yourself doing incredible things. It's the best feeling I can think about, that and being in love, I guess. Those two combined, but it's not, I've never done drugs in my life. I talk about it like a high. I can't compare it to a high of doing drugs because I don't know what that feels like. But for me, it's a definite high. It's an altered state. It's not just, yeah, I'm feeling good. It's inspired. It's something else. So I wrote down last week, or I recorded how many times I felt inspired. And there were only two occasions, actually. Last Sunday, between 3:30 and 6 for 2.5 hours, I was absolutely buzzing. And then again on Thursday, just this Thursday gone, for an hour from 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. Again, I was absolutely buzzing. Now, I'm certain that this energy that I get when I'm feeling inspired is going to help me to realize my goal. And if I can and I need to, get this energy every single day of my life and live with it for as long as possible. It's not something you can force, though. I'm a big believer, and if you read much of my work, blogs or book, in thought control or channeling your thoughts, disciplining your thoughts, which is something I can control, but I can't really control my energy and mood, not immediately, not like that. And I'm trying to. It's something I'm working towards, but I'm certain that if I can get in this inspired state more, I definitely get more ideas about what to do. I know it really helps my performance if, for example, I'm playing tennis, although obviously I'm not aiming to be a pro tennis player now, but it also helps for stuff like speaking. It helps for writing. If I'm inspired when I'm writing, it flows and it's so much quicker. Everything happens so much more rapidly. I don't know whether you've seen that film Limitless with Bradley Cooper. It's sort of like that. It's, I guess, a little bit like taking a drug, but when you get inspired, you're just so much more productive. So the question is, how do you get inspired? And as I said earlier, it's not really something I can force. It's there are certainly things I can eliminate which prevent me from getting inspired, such as overthinking is definitely one of them. Worrying, being anxious about things. I don't tend to do that anymore, but I still definitely overthink. Having too many thoughts in your head, that definitely breaks the connection. Spending a life doing things you don't enjoy, again, that breaks the connection. But even when you're doing something mundane, you can feel inspired. For example, what I talked about this last Sunday when I first recorded this feeling. I was stringing tennis rackets for an hour. But I was listening to music, and I hadn't been listening to music for a long time. I'd mainly been listening to podcasts, and listening to the music really got me buzzing. And I was stringing rackets, and I was driving a car, pretty mundane stuff, but I was absolutely buzzing. So doing mundane things doesn't necessarily mean you can't feel inspired. But if you're spending your life doing things you don't enjoy, then it becomes difficult. So it's really a case of eliminating what's blocking the inspiration rather than trying to force it. You can think positive thoughts, but the act of thinking tends, I find, to break away the connection of feeling inspired. It's more about feeling rather than thinking. So try to feel more than think. Remove negative thoughts, remove your fears and anxieties, and don't overthink things. And finally, try to live a life doing the things you enjoy. Those are my tips for feeling inspired. I definitely feel the positivity, the benefits from living in that state. I'm sure you do as well. I hope that helps. Join me in another 7 days' time for day, I can't even remember now, day 121, I think. Today's 114, so 121. Or I may actually see you on Thursday this time, because I am doing Success Club, so we'll try to make a video and update you sooner. And if you are one of the 26 who bought my book this week, then thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Or if you're one of the 1,230 who bought my book, I am very grateful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.